Hi, I wanted to talk about a topic that I think is very important, especially for anybody who has dealt with a narcissist in their life and has already had their programming intertwined into who you are. And if you've been with a narcissist, you understand what I mean by that, because they slowly strip you of your identity. The topic that I think is so important, that took me a while, probably, gosh, like 2 years to figure out once I was out of my relationship with my narcissist, was that I was still applying this trauma response from my narcissist in my world around me. Now, this very thing is caring too much or allowing other people to give you a sense of responsibility for how they feel. So being like a gauge to their emotions, a regulator to their feelings, to their actions. Now, a narcissist, when they overreact, they immediately blame, right? They project, they gaslight. There's all these things that happen that make us second guess our reality and also make us pick ourselves apart and think that we're the bad person because we must deserve this. And, the thoughts go on and on about that. But the bottom line is that this trickles into your day-to-day life. This will remain stagnant until you're aware of it with all the relationships that you encounter afterwards. And I'm not just talking about romantic relationships, I'm talking about like work relationships, friend relationships. The only individuals in this world that anybody should ever care that much about someone's emotions and their emotional state and allow us to be a regulator for that are our children. No grown person should rely on another person to regulate their emotions. But if you take the time to think about this in your day-to-day life, I'm sure you'll recognize that you do this with people in your life, whether it's a friend, a family member, coworker, maybe a new significant other. But this is a very unhealthy trait to carry on after you leave the narcissist. So the awareness to it is, I think, the very first pushing force to getting your power back, because I'm an analogy type of person. So when I thought about making this, I was like, oh, what kind of analogy can I use? And the one that I really liked was like an octopus. Okay. So the body of the octopus is the source of the energy, right? And then it has tentacles. So think about this. If an octopus had one tentacle on one individual each, then their power is limited to that one particular person that they have the tentacle on. Their strength lies in their numbers. So if they grab you with all their tentacles, you're kind of in trouble. But if you have just one tentacle and that octopus has all the other tentacles attached to other people, they're not as strong as they seem. So it's kind of that analogy. I hope that worked for you. But that's like a narcissist. Think of them as the body of the octopus, and they have tentacles, and they're touching all these other people as their source of their supply or their energy. Because this is a real thing. And it's not just the narcissist that does this that you dealt with. There are other people who have these narcissistic traits, and other narcissists that you'll come across that will try this very thing, because this is a second nature thing to them. They expect the people in their lives that they come in contact with to be the regulator of their emotions. Another thing I want to mention that's a perfect topic of this is, you see a lot of videos about Karens and these people who kind of lose their control. They're not emotionally stable. They're irrational. These are those same people. These are the same people. This is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. They're relying too much on someone who they barely even know, right? Because most of these videos you see, it's someone freaking out on a perfect stranger. So these people put that power into other people blindly and ignorantly, to regulate their own emotions. So just recognizing that you're not responsible for that is a huge step in getting your power back, because you've instinctively known that these people have this urge to understand what's happening, and you feel responsible for that, but you lose your power. And it can also be flipped back to that octopus thing. If you're that octopus and you have all those tentacles and you're too busy gauging out all the people in your life with each tentacle, you don't have your full power. So they're also like strings. I also like to think of it like that, like strings of energy or a web, that we give out to people. That's our energy. That's our supply that we're supposed to be using for ourselves. So if we extend that to people around us, we're going to become emotionally unstable too when we're dealt with things that we're supposed to be able to handle, because we can't handle it. all of our emotions have been tapped out from all these other people. They're in other people's sources. So I hope that helps with anybody who needed to hear that, that understands what I'm saying in this. Because if you do understand, this will be a huge life changer for you in getting your power back. And this will trickle into so many other positive things on your journey out from this. So I'm sending you my love and strength, and I hope that this resonates with anybody that needed to hear it. Thank you. Bye.